Hey guys, thank you so much for jumping into this video today. My name is Danny ColdBlood, aka MusicVidiot, and I am here joined with two special guests today. First we have Delta9. Delta, how are you doing today, buddy?
Good. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. And we have Whizl also with us today. Whizl, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I am doing awesome. We have a discussion for you guys today. Got the hunters together. We're going to go over some different topics and we're going to see what you guys think by leaving your comments in the comment section below. So without any further ado, let's get right to it. And before we go ahead and start, I just wanted to point something out to everybody. You know, looking around the yacht, I'm looking up at the ceilings, and if you look at the ceilings to certain rooms in the yachts, guys, you could see, like, it's just set up like outer space. Like, you got stars, some of them blink, some of them disappear. You know, that one seems like it's a daytime one. Over here looks like it's a nighttime, kind of hinting at the different cycles maybe of the different phases through the lunar and solar cycles. Also, we have, you know, the rugs have 8s kind of knotted throughout the different sections of the rugs. I was even looking at this picture, has an 8 that's kind of faded into the background of this picture. So if you pay attention to detail, guys, the clues are there. You know, even if you go into your phones, you know, this yacht update, it wasn't just a yacht, you know, an update for yachts, guys. The clues are there. Galaxy super yachts, and every single yacht is named basically after some sort of, you know, planet or outer space. Aquarius, Orion, Pisces. I mean, all these different names. You know, it's all here, hinting to outer space and astrology. So definitely pay attention, guys. That was from the yacht update, and we do have an update coming out in, I think, a couple days or next week, something like the Lowriders 2 update, I believe, if the rumors are correct. So I'm sure that we'll have a lot of different clues given in that update, so keep your eyes peeled. Alright guys, let's get this discussion started. We'll head to the first location and we will meet you guys back in a second. Okay, so here we are at the Hippie camp, and Delta9, you just recently made a Reddit post, and that had some very interesting information on it. If you don't mind giving us a small briefing on what that was, and then we'll go on from there, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so basically everybody thinks that this right here is the alien code. There's actually four pieces of code just right here that constantly repeats itself around the whole hippie camp. But each one of these symbols represents an astrological alignment in our solar system. So obviously, you know of what the picture of the sun is, which is a circle with a dot in the middle. And this symbol actually right here represents a Uranus opposition, which is a midlife crisis. And that is what Michael and Franklin are going through, is that is what the lessons being taught in the game to us, the player, are, and Franklin, who represents us. And these are also planetary alignments. Like, this would be the like the sun in the middle, Earth, the moon, and possibly the other dark circle would be Uranus. And this one would be the Earth's rotation around the sun, and this one would be the moon's rotation around the sun. And this one is also an opposition. It's the sun opposing something. I'm not sure if it's actually, if this is like sun, or if this is sun opposing Uranus, or if this is sun opposing Earth. I'm not sure what that is. I would assume it's Uranus, but I'm not too sure.
Now, if you wanted to, you can use like the sun and moon to actually locate where Uranus is, can't you?
Yeah, you could. Well, yeah, you can basically find Uranus by using like the astrological signs in the solar system that we see in the stars every day. But if the planets are aligned and everything during like solstices and stuff, then Uranus will be aligned as well. And that's actually what plays on everybody in how it's considered the midlife crisis, because planets rule us. Their gravitational pulls and how they operate, and definitely like mythology teaches this and stuff too, about how the planets rule us, and they all play a part in our lives more than we know. And that's the cosmos, that's where we came from. So we're floating in space. We came from space. Yeah, we're all the same thing. We all came from the cosmos. We're all star stuff. This right there, that symbol there is actually, I believe, represents the solstice plate, which would recommend the season, which we need a winter solstice to even see the moon shadow hit that sun plate. So if that's what it means, then that would be the sun representing the solstice, and those two lines at the end are representing the two sidelines that I thought were unused at the observatory. The ones that run along the sides with the two solstice plates in the middle. Those are the two end lines there. And the big penis one here, that one's actually like the funniest one, because we know if we can find Uranus, and we know Uranus is at the observatory, and we need planetary alignments on all that. The balls of this penis here would represent the sun and the moon in ecliptic. So you see them combining in the middle, so that shows an eclipse. The penis-looking one is actually the observatory. It's the sun lines at the observatory that connect, basically to show us like the sun would actually be where that first dot is. That obelisk would be where the first dot is, and it would cast down here, and then down here would be a planetary line, and over here would be, by the alien's head over there, would be another planetary line, and that's actually Uranus. But then you know that we need a winter solstice, which is north. So then the sun would be north right there, the first dot, then Earth, and then Moon, and that would create a solar eclipse, which we see at the balls right here. And basically it's like semen ejaculating into Uranus, if you think, and that's why you see all these aliens having sex and everything. It's just a giant big sex joke.
That's the thing that makes this so perfect, like this mystery so perfect, because they are Rockstar, and they are known for putting puns all over the place and references to other games and different media, different forms of entertainment, and it's always in some sort of a joking fashion, you know what I mean? They play on words, and mostly everybody, including myself, I always just thought these were playing, you know, on different words, phrases, like, okay, they put that up there because they want to make an ass joke. But basically, they knew that we were going to think that, and for the mystery to actually need to be solved using these clues and using this information, you're gonna sound like either an idiot or a fool, or they're not gonna know if they should even take you seriously when you're trying to explain this to somebody like, yo, I think I got it. Beam me up Uranus, dude. Like, they're gonna be like, what? No, get out of here. Like, so it's perfect that they would use this kind of, you know, these kind of different analogies and stuff as their, you know, basis for solving this mystery. This is insane.
And it's just one big like giant fuck you. I seen a comment on my one post. It was actually pretty funny. It's just like basically at the end of the mystery, Rockstar basically told us to go fuck ourselves. Like, and that was pretty funny. So yeah, it's basically what they did, and I can see them doing something like that. And it's pretty funny. It's really well played by Rockstar. I give them that.
Now
they created one big Capolavoro here. It's one big masterpiece.
They really did. They really did.
But this one's pointing to the anus of this, and the legs of this alien also are the Omega symbol. And then back to the observatory with the penis here. This is actually half. And someone on my Reddit actually pointed out a really good point. It's like this symbol here is pointing, like I said that this was replicating the sun, meaning that this thing right there, that circle, was this first dot, which was the sun. But he pointed out that it's kind of like this one. It's only half of the observatory. It's only half of that penis. So it's kind of like saying to us, only choose one path. You can only have one path, and like only one path is right. So that's why it's half. And that was a really, really good point. And I'm starting to think that's what that is only choose one path, and then that might be the moon right there, because we need the moon to see Uranus.
It happens to be on the truck that we talked about in the other video, with the different color wheels representing the different elements like fire, earth, water, and wind. And you know, the one missing tire, it would be under the wind or the water, which would create the tsunami that we see, you know, symbolized on this earth over here. You know what I mean? With this, these different wind curls and stuff. Like, the more and more I see these different hints and clues, the more and more I'm sold on a tsunami actually being very, very possible. Now, you were saying something about the different the planets and the tides earlier, and you kind of caught my attention because looking at this, I mean, looking at the different wind, you know, images here, and knowing that the moon controls different tides with the water, what do you think about all that, and why are every single, like, why is every single clue in the game that we are using and utilizing to help solve this mystery located here? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I've always said that I always like to believe that the murals are key, and the Hippocamp is our guide. Everything in the mystery is here at the Hippocamp. Everything. If you think it's mystery related, just come to the Hippocamp. It probably and most likely will be here in some way, shape, form. It'll be here. One of the biggest factors is everyone believes that the UFO above Hippocamp does something, but I believe that it's just there to show us that it's part of the mystery. Which is when you complete the game, you're told to go to the top of Mount Chiliad where you see your UFO. But now UFOs, there's other UFOs. There's one at the Fort Zancudo that is in the game, basically telling us that there's Mount Chiliad is telling us that there's UFOs now. So what do us, the player, do? We go searching for other UFOs and find Fort Zancudo, and we find the Hippocamp. But Hippocamp is just telling us that there's a UFO that spawns now in the game, and to look for UFOs. And it also makes the same sound, or it makes the same sound as Mount Chiliad, but it has the same effects as the Fort Zancudo, which is more proof that it's just resembling those UFOs. And it's being added to the camp because you added it to the game. You added it to the mystery. There's an overlook deck up there, which also is part of representing Mount Chiliad as well, to see that UFO. And we also have a UFO right at the bottom of that observation deck, which is right here, which if you go straight up is the UFO. And the world here, there's just a whole bunch of clues here, not actually pointed out in his video using my theory about the eye at the observatory, that when the moon rises, it does rise on the east, and his testing showed that it actually rises right here where the alien code starts. So pointing out more to planetary alignments, I would think that would be the best guess. And over at the end over here, like way over here, it actually disappears. The shadow just fades, or the symbols just fade away, which would represent the sunset. And that's exactly where the sun sets, is right over there. So it like matches up that we need a sunset and the moonrise at a certain location. It's just now added to the camp even more. That the theory is correct, that we need an eclipse, we need the moon in the right location, because it's being shown at the Hippocamp.
So if we need an eclipse, right? If we need an eclipse, do you think that, I mean, because this image right here with the wind, this is screaming tsunami to me. I mean, this is really screaming tsunami.
Yeah.
We found a bit of clues, okay, recently, guys, about, you know, more things pointing to Uranus, situations with, you know, tsunamis and saving the Alamo Sea. We're gonna kind of go into that if you guys want to hear what we're gonna say here. I think it's pretty interesting.
The tiny little mini silo that was over at the Hippocamp, again representing these silos that they're in the game, and to look at them. And they're a lot bigger, and they have the same symbolism, the same glyphs, the alien code. It's all on there.
When you're looking at this from a bird's eye view, it's the Uranus opposition.
The alien code, yeah, Uranus opposition, a midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis, yet again, and it's right next to the Lost Camp, screaming basically that you're lost.
You're lost in life. Yep.
That is so crazy.
And the Lost is themselves are another cult. And also, if you saw the 2020 video as well, there's another 2020, Los Santos 2020 in the Lost Camp, as well as a Fatal Incursion, and legalized cocaine, and it's all there as well. I think that's the only 2 locations that it actually even is in.
Guys, if you haven't watched our other few videos that we've done with the discussion, definitely check those out. Okay, so here we are. We're not too far away from the actual hippie camp itself. We are on the Eastern Highway here. Right at this location, there's actually a billboard. And this billboard seems to hold some hints. We were just talking at the hippie camp about tsunamis and, you know, the tides with the moon. And basically, what does this billboard mean to you, Delta? And how do you think it applies to the mystery?
For one, it tells you that you know, they're gonna save jobs. Uranium means jobs, so it's like saving America from, you know, jobs. And we hear about outsourcing and stuff all the time. So basically, it means like companies going out and you know, giving jobs to people, like foreign people, like out in other countries and not staying here in America. So Americans lose their jobs. So that means it's going to save jobs, so it represents that, but it also represents like the nuclear side of things, and we see nuclear waste in the ocean, and if we clean up the nuclear waste, then if the tsunami hits, then, you know, at least we could save the Alamo Sea by flooding, or basically causing a flood, and it'll make Mount Chiliad beachfront property, as we hear on the radio. And we always see unite to save the Alamo Sea. In fact, I think the next sign down is actually says unite on it and save the Alamo Sea. Or imagine the Grand Sonora Desert, but it talks on the TV ad. It actually mentions about how there was water and now there's not. And so basically, if we can save the Alamo Sea, we need to cause a tsunami. But if we don't clean up the nuclear waste, that technically leaves nuclear waste in the tsunami. So when it occurs, it could technically poison everybody, kill a bunch of people, turn us to zombies because it's like radiation, and yeah, then we hear the zombie side of things.
Now it does say save us at the hippie camp, doesn't it?
Yeah, and also it's like, again, back to the like everything adding up. If this is true, then it would need to be found at the hippie camp, and we see save us at the hippie camp, nice and big. It could also represent saving Michael and Trevor, but it could mean both things as well, or it could mean just this. But it's definitely there to save us.
And I see U equals money sign is actually, you know, spelling out us also, which could be looked at in a.
Yeah, that's actually a really good observation. I didn't notice that.
You know, so. Whizl, what do you think of everything that we've been talking about so far? Is this stuff making sense to you? Do you think this is a load of bullshit? Do you think that it, you know, what's on your mind?
No, it is no bullshit at all. It's just perfectly adding up with all the clues and all that. And yeah, these things have been in the game from the beginning, and everything starts to make sense now, almost 3 years later. But yeah, that doesn't mind. It definitely adds up. It makes sense. Also thinking about the hidden sites on the internet, like where you can see a tsunami hitting Los Santos, what also hints to this clue again. So yeah, everything is adding up.
So you believe that we might, you know, so you're a believer that there might be a tsunami. Whoa! I don't know if that was a sign from the gods, or if you guys would have went any further, you would have hit my anus. My guy had to crouch down for that one.
Whoa,
okay.
It's exploded.
Well, I'm not going to ask you that question again. Let's move on to the next one, guys. Christ, what is happening here? Guys, a natural disaster is happening right here on the Eastern Highway. This is Danny ColdBlood with your news for the day. The fuck? Alright, here we are at the Epsilon Center. As you see, the same exact cock on their gate. Now, Delta, you basically explained to me your viewpoint on the different cults in the game, how the biggest religion, you know, that is the one that you're born into, you know, a lot of different things that really sold me. You really sold me, because I see it now, and I see it as nothing but the real truth. can you go ahead and describe to everybody basically your viewpoints? And if you guys want to believe, you can. If you want to see the truth, may it hit you as it did me. If you don't want to, that's your choice, as you should have. But Delta, if you don't mind, go ahead and let these people know exactly what your thoughts are on the different cults in the game. You know, the Children of the Mountain, the Epsilonists, the Altruists, the Lost. I mean, right here on the wall it says evil cults, imaginary friends, or idiots. Make some real ones. What do you think? Do you think cults are evil or what?
I do. Cults are evil. You're not supposed to follow them. The biggest cult is the one you're born into, and meaning that when you're born in life, you know, your parents, they might have a religion, and you're just born into that religion, and that is exactly what Franklin is. Franklin is his grandparents and everyone came from Children of the Mountain Church. That's right outside of his house, and you can see pictures of them inside the inside of his aunt's house. And Epsilon, like you see all these Uranus connections, but that's just the way of Rockstar to get you away from it. And like storylines that they're called red herrings, and they're just to guide you away from something, and that they're like basically the main storyline or the hidden story. And that's what Epsilon, the Altruists, even though they understand the truth, they twist it for their own gain, and that's why like the Altruists will ask for humans, and that's why Epsilon asks for the money, and they teach you the same tools that can be taught by following astrology, which is free for everybody. All you gotta do is go outside and look up. That's where we came from. Again, that's like I was saying this earlier. Like, you know, you can. We're floating in space. Earth is in space. There's planets that revolve around us. Like we're guided by the stars, and we are all the stars. And they're trying to teach us our Uranus opposition, or midlife crisis, which again points to astrology. And that is the true way you should go, to follow the stars, shoot for them.
See, a lot of people are gonna say, fuck that shit, there's so many clues with the Epsilon, you know, like...
Again, it's just to guide you away from the truth. They twist it for their own gain. There's so many things that Epsilon does. They can teach you, like I said, they understand the truth, but they twist it a little bit so that they can basically buy your belief, and you can pay into their religion and support them. And they say on the radio too about becoming, you can claim yourself as, I forget what they claim you as, but then you can claim exempt on your tax form, because it's all about money, and they're cults. And another cult is the biggest one that claims that they're not a cult, and Children of the Mountain actually does that. And that's, again, that's how you're born into it. Franklin's born into the Children of the Mountain, and that's how they know that his phone number, because his parents and grandparents went to that church. So it's just, don't follow that, just look towards astrology and the planets that revolve around us.
Now, what about people that are trying to get like 100% complete and stuff? Don't you have to do these different cults, or is that stuff all optional?
It's all optional, and that's another key clue there, that you don't have to do it, so why are you doing it? And it's just, yeah, just don't follow the cults, they're all evil.
Wow. Whizl, what do you think on that? Like, what's your viewpoint on all this? Does this make sense to you? Do you think that this is something that you're going to believe in,
agree.
or are you against it?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, you have so many cults, but that's just to distract you. It's not the truth. When you're lost, you're going in a cult to see enlightenment, but yeah, that's not the case. You're going deeper into the shit. So yeah, I totally agree.
It's been 3 years now, hasn't been solved, and everyone's so like going into these cults and that they're part of the cult, but you're not realizing that you're proving Rockstar's point. You're lost in the mystery, so you're joining a cult to try to find the answer. And
exactly.
that's not the answer. Look for astrology, shoot for the stars, go to where we came from. We all came from the stars. We're all made of atoms, we're all made of star stuff. We are the stars, and we need to be taught this lesson. And we need to stand up to awaken.
You know what's also funny about this? I'm thinking about that mission. I'm thinking about that mission with the Epsilon when you hold that little, alien, remote device or whatever it is, and you're supposed to find the shoe and the television and all that stuff. And if you want 100% or gold, I mean, if you want to get gold for that mission, you actually have to find all those objects without using the scanner. And the name for gold for doing that without using the scanner is called Use the Force. Now, that's an obvious reference to Star Wars and a Jedi, but I mean, who else in a science fiction movie do you know that's more awakened than a friggin' Jedi? They're more in tune with themselves and with nature and with the world than anybody. They have the Force. They can use the Force, and it's basically, I see that as a big, huge hint.
I heard on the radio yesterday, the sun is going to incinerate the Earth. The sun is made of helium, and when you fly into it, you're going to be talking really funny before you die. Meaning, well, first off, Rockstar gave us a tool for our, or gave us a little extra thing when we bought the game. We got a fucking blimp. A blimp has helium in it, does it not?
Yes.
Am I wrong on that? Yeah. And so that represents obviously the blimp, the sun. And when they say you're gonna start talking really funny before you die, I'm pretty sure that means like how I brought forth this theory on Uranus. I'm talking really funny right now to a lot of people about Uranus and all that stuff like that, and then all this will probably lead up to the end, the tsunami, whatever, and meaning that I'm going to talk really funny before I die in my crisis that's about to take place.
That's a good way of thinking about it. I also was doing videos in the recent past, the car videos, the rare car videos, and in those videos I talk about the different clues that the cars are giving us, like the xenon lights, or the XENON, however you say that, lights. Those are all with, connecting to neon, which is connecting right back to helium, which is connecting to gas. Like even Uranus or Uranus is a planet that is a giant ball of gas. It's also known as the ice planet, and that's one reason I want to bring you guys here, right here on the map, if anyone wants to check it out themselves, okay? There's a sign or a poster over here, and this is how you can connect a lot of other clues too. Like if people are looking at a lot of mythology or Greek mythology clues and different things, you can really connect everything right back to your anus if you want to. Which you got Meltdown, you got Ice Planet Jewelry, which they refer to, if you guys look on Google, Uranus is referred to as a big giant ice planet. Over here in the same plaza we have a store, or whatever this is called, and it's called Thor Toys. Now we know Thor has a giant hammer, which this turtle guy is holding, and it has a lightning bolt on it. Now Uranus is also a meaning of electricity or power. Now something you pointed out too, Delta, speaking about power and gases, if you don't mind telling people about something you noticed with the O'Neill brothers in the game.
Yeah. So when you play the I forget the mission name, to be honest, but you blow up the O'Neill brothers' house, and it's when you go to kill all of them at their house. They all get into a van, and they all basically they work for fart gas, which could again be a reference to Uranus, which is farting, which comes out of your anus.
and the gas.
Yeah, and
which also comes out of your anus.
Yeah. So it's just another point at
One
Uranus.
big connection.
Yeah, it's just one big sex joke.
And isn't it saying something like that's how they power their house?
By Rockstar.
Aren't they saying that's how they power their house also, is with that fart gas?
Yeah, that's how how in Los Santos or whatever, that's how we power our homes, is with fart gas. You can actually see fart gas in other places as well. And you see the vans driving around town, you see signs and windows and stuff, you see fart gas. So it's what powers the businesses and stuff.
It's just funny because Uranus is gas, and gas comes out of your anus and powering your house. I mean, Uranus is another, it means power. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many just
So many
connections that are
connections to
just
yeah.
going into each other, ejaculating into its own self. It's just ridiculous. And what about the fucking mysterious spider webs? What the hell are those all about?
I have no idea on this.
Yeah, they are crazy as fuck. Also, someone mentioned it in the comment section of my video. I don't know if it is something with the moon, the shadow overlaps at the Galileo Observatory at 1:30 in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the spider webs are only visible between 1 and 2 in the night, so maybe that has something...
Yeah. It shows the, it is the electrical planet, and these things, aren't these spider webs electrical?
They kind of
Yeah,
do
they
look like
are.
they're electrical, yeah.
Yeah.
But they also confirmed it, like people who can look in the game files, they confirmed that it's made from electrical wires and all that. So,
Yeah.
If the spider webs are proven to be made from electrical wires, and we know that Uranus also stands for electricity or power, okay, and the spider webs spawn at the same time that you find that
The biggest
observatory
thing-
plate having the shadow line up with the sun symbol. I mean, there's so many coincidences. We know that the observatory doors only have those 2 lights light up out of the 4 boxes in total. We know that there's like little web-looking, you know, symbols on those doors. We also know that the number 8 is all over, and the mystery 8 killer, you know, there's a mystery, the Chiliad mystery. We know that number 8 is very relevant. We know that spiders have 8 eyes, 8 legs, the spider webs. Like, there's so many different connections and possibilities. What the fuck does this all mean? I'm spinning in a fucking circle right now, dude. Like, what
You know, the biggest unsolved thing right now is the blue light map has take control at the Fort Zancudo. And I'm thinking, like, you know, if you get the conditions right, you probably go there between the hours of 1 and 4 in the morning when that light shines down on the thing. And if you take control of the fort, you can probably open those elevator doors yourself. You probably press a button somewhere and open up the doors, and that's probably your trigger.
yeah, but everything has to do with the time,
Everything has-
day, and
yeah.
weather conditions. So yeah, it's pretty hard to get the right day, time, and weather type.
Okay, so basically, if we're gonna solve this mystery, we're gonna end up seeing an eclipse. We're gonna end up seeing a tsunami. I mean, all these things sound so far-fetched, but yet again, all the clues are pointing directly at all this stuff. Do you think that this stuff is actually gonna happen? Like, do you think it's possible that this all can really happen?
Thinking about Rockstar, I mean, they always surprise us with literally everything in the game. Look,
Big thanks to Delta9 for the major discovery at the observatory. Like I said before, if you guys missed any of the previous videos, make sure to definitely look at those and watch those. Definitely check out the descriptions. They have Delta9's Reddit posts, which are definitely interesting to read up on. And as we make our way to the final statement of this video, I just want to kind of go over a little bit of what we talked about today. We talked about the tides, okay, the moon and the tides. We talked about the mural being our key and the hippie camp being our guide, which you guys really need to take that to heart, because I'm seeing that unfold as nothing but the truth so far. We talked about the cults being evil. Now, before you guys start yelling and screaming and saying that's bullshit, Epsilon is the truth and the way, you need to really, really think about it. Think about it. Think about what was said in this video and
You've
really
been led on a foolish yeah, you've been led on a foolish path if you keep believing in that.
You know, it's not to say that Epsilon doesn't have
You're
some
unsavable.
answers. They do.
The same exact lessons that the religions in the game teach, I can find using astrology. How is that even possible? If Epsilon is correct, how is it possible I could find the same answers following Altruist? How is it possible I could find the same answers finding astrology or Children of the Mountain? Because they all tell the truth, but their religions twist it for their own gain. There's only one true truth form, and that is where we came from, the cosmos, astrology.
That's absolutely amazing. Very, very well put. We also talked about, you know, the different uranium farming and how there's toxic waste, you know, in the ocean. And if a tsunami were to happen, and we were really, you know, put here to save the Alamo Sea, that's, you know, an example of why we have the missions while we clean up the toxic waste, because otherwise toxic waste would come in with the tsunami and turn everyone into fucking radiation zombies. So, like, a lot of things make sense. We brought up a lot of good points today. We talk about how the mythology clues are connected directly to Uranus. So if you're stuck on the mythology, you could see how it is there also to bring us to the same answers. Like, everything is actually wrapping up. I'm seeing everything really connect. Everything's making sense. It's a big eye opener, if you guys will. And basically, you know, we have hopes on seeing a tsunami if things are done correctly. We have hopes on seeing an eclipse. You know, all these things are stuff that we're gonna try to work towards. So if you guys have any information, any clues, anything, definitely let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think of this. You know, is there anything that you guys want to say, Delta? Anything you want to say, Whizl, to kind of, you know, final words for the video?
All I want to say is that we're really close to solving this, guys. These clues we found are amazing, and yeah, I have a good feeling about this. That's all I want to say.
Delta, do you have anything to add?
I just really, I really hope something comes of this soon. I hope we get this solved. I think it's coming along. I think we're getting the ball rolling here. I think it's gonna be solved finally, 3 years in. And good luck to everybody. Happy hunting.
And
Yep.
if there's anything, guys, that you should really listen to the words inside your head as you read. Some look left, some look right. The answer is right in front of you equals money sign. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Whizl, thank you so much, man. Honestly, thank you so much for jumping in and joining us in this discussion.
No problem. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. And yeah.
No problem, man. Anytime. And Delta, thank you again, man, for your
thank you
for your brain.
Me.
Oh, no problem, man. Your anus was the best I've had in a long time.
Oh, Jesus, man. What the hell?
Have a good one, guys. And as always, peace.
Peace.